Hello everyone, this is Order of the Week. I've been doing every week a video. What I do is to speak about something that is important to me at the time and and I hope it's important for other people. I've been talking about a lot about global affairs or global things that hope is happening around the world. It's not necessarily that. Maybe I also can talk about other more personal interests, and I've been doing it. I want to do more of that as well. Because I do not want this channel to be in a particular subject, so I don't want to be about the affairs that are happening or events that are happening and they are already been explained in the news or already been broadcast on TV. It's not about that really. It's not about discussing what is happening in the world. It's to be honest, it's a lot more personal. It's a lot more from a perspective point of view. So I discussed something that is important to me at the time, really. And I always, even if it's a global major event like coronavirus, I always try to do my personal perspective and my point of view. Maybe a lot of people would be put off from that personal point of view, but my point in this is that every view from everyone counts, and I think, and I always say, well, I will hope for people to be open to listen. I think, and to listen to everyone's opinions is good. It's enriching. It's enrich the knowledge and the understanding of everyone. And I just feel I'm just one of these millions and millions and millions of people around the world. But at the same time, I feel just as important as anyone else. And my opinion will be as important as anyone else. It's very personal, but I still hope other people will understand the importance of individual points of view as well. What is, as I say, I've been talking about a lot about global events and very much about coronavirus. It's not intended the channel to be a coronavirus. I'd say that before, but nobody can deny it's a major issue. And as I say, I'm not talking what is around the world, but I'm talking what is important to me. And obviously, very often, what is important to me is important because it's happening in the world. So there is a lot about coronavirus, about the restrictions this week. And this week I have seen different sides of and different opinions about the restrictions and different restrictions as well, because it have been mentioned that there is a second wave. I don't know if we can say a second wave. I don't think that it have ever gone. So a second wave will be that it was gone and it's coming back, but it never went really. We have managed to control the infection because of the restrictions, have been on place. But as soon they were lifted, it start going out of control. So really, it's not really a second wave. I think it's the virus is there, and we need to live in a way that we can keep it with under control, obviously. So the difference about these two ways to see it is that for me, when they say second wave, they mean it's something that is temporary. But the way I see it, it's not something that is temporary. And maybe it's in 1 year we never heard about coronavirus again. But at the moment, the evidence doesn't show that. The evidence say that is there. It's there, for the near future is gonna be there, and the difference will make in our life is that the way they see it, the restrictions will be temporary, therefore they can be as strong or as effective or as strong as they are required for that moment. And the way I see it, the restrictions should be in place to keep the infection to minimums. However, the restrictions should allow people to keep with their life, not exactly the same way we were before. I will never say that wouldn't be possible, but to be able to have their significant activities. And what I always have been saying to people when we talk about restrictions on coronavirus is that for me, rather than to ban activities, what I will do is control how to do that activities. For instance, it's impossible to ban people for not taking the bus. That will be impossible and will make life very difficult for everyone. But then we are now trying to keep social distance in public transport. Some transports are even delimited the areas to sit, which I think is ideal. Other buses don't do it, which I think we maybe should be doing in every single bus, or in every single public transport. Maybe they think they still haven't been an issue on public transports to maintain the social distancing, but I have seen sometimes the social distancing have not been possible, very often, like almost every day, really. However, I'm not the rule maker, and I can only give my opinion, which is what I do here. But then is what I was saying is that instead to ban activities completely, like closing the shops or not going able to go in public transport, what we are doing is put the safety measures in place to be able to do that activity with being safe. And that's what I think about coronavirus, to be seen as something that is going to be permanent. And I know some people don't want to hear that because they feel very, what's the word? Catastrophistic, exactly, catastrophistic. I don't think it have to be negative. I'm afraid in every moment in time in history happens some kind of challenge, and some things are no challenge, and things that you have to aside that is have to be under control, or to be able to have to create this life that we have, It's coronavirus at the moment, and we just need to learn to live. I was talking in other videos about coronavirus. The title of the video was Coronavirus complex virus of a complex life. And I was talking about how life has become very complex, and it's not in negative terms at all. Like, I love living in this era because we are allowed, the complex is coming because there is a lot more activity, there is a lot more traveling, and there is more people. And I love living in this era because we are allowed to do so many things, we are allowed to travel so many places, and we are allowed to meet many people. So I love this era. So complex life is nothing negative. It's just a more elaborate kind of life. It was in the papers, as I say, was a few restrictions, different points of view of the restrictions. One was that bars are in some areas or some places are closed, have been closed. And initially they were maybe closed earlier. And now some places, the bars and restaurants are closed. And as I say, I'm more, it's possible, okay? And I'm never gonna be one side and ignoring completely the other side, because I don't have the details to do that. And I think to do that is a bit... too extreme, and we don't. It's not good to be extreme. I think it's better to try to be in the middle wherever possible, obviously. But I think personally at this moment in time, I think is better, the way I see it anyway, to instead to ban or to stop any activities, to try to do it in a safe way. So the thing is, I went to one restaurant once this summer, and I was I was very surprised by, in a very positive way, because I didn't want to go inside the restaurant. I was meeting friends, and I wasn't planning to go inside the. Oh, it went dark. What happened here? Of course, because the light have switched off, like it always does when I'm doing the video. Okay, I'm gonna leave it just now, and hopefully when I needed to show the video, I will be able to switch it on, because it's charging. But as I mentioned in a couple of videos before, I'm not using the right plug, and it's not charging very well. Okay, I'm having a cup of tea, sorry. So I wasn't planning when I went to the restaurant to sit inside because of the contamination and aerosol transmission of the virus. However, I definitely felt very safe. And the thing is, I have to say, when I was walking work to home, I was seeing these pubs, and sometimes they were full of people inside and standing outside as well. Quite big groups, like, I don't know, maybe 6 people, 8 people, 10 people together, very close to each other, engaging in conversation, obviously, and it was inside the pubs and outside and without mask, and I thought that's no, I don't think that's safe. And I will have never gone to a place like that. But I went to this restaurant, and as I say, I was planning to sit outside in the terrace rather than go inside. But then I realized that I have to go with a mask, and I will remove my mask only when I was sitting on the table with the people I was going, obviously. And the tables were quite distant one to between them. And the waiters, obviously, they were wearing masks as well. So definitely, it was. Honestly, I felt completely safe. But then, as I say as well, I was surprised when they decided to close the restaurants and pubs. But then I remember again these pubs that I was seeing on the way home or to work. Where a lot of people weren't standing inside or just outside at the door, and they were quite big groups with no mask or anything. So I don't know if this restriction have been in place, thinking of these places where they were overcrowded, or they even restaurants like I went. They still think there is an issue with that kind of activity. And I don't know, so I cannot really comment on that. But I was surprised. I was surprised they were closing the pubs and restaurants completely. Because I understood that was 6 at some point they were closing earlier, because it was thought that after certain times people going for drinking, and drinking involve a more out of control kind of behavior. Definitely social distance go out of the window, and I think I was quite well aware of that. And definitely, because as I say, I saw it every day outside when I was walking outside. So I did definitely. In kind of, I was anticipating that kind of, or hoping even that they were putting some kind of restrictions to that. But then I was surprised that they closed it completely. I thought they will keep the restrictions, they will keep the supervision of pubs and places to stay with the safety measures. But yeah, as I say, they closed it. I'm not gonna go to argument whether that's right or not, because as I say, I don't have enough details, and I'd rather be cautious. But then there is also the chief from hospitalities, or the powers of, no, not the powers that be, sorry, in this case they are not the powers that be, but it's I don't know the name really, members of the cabinet, I don't know how they call it really. I don't know who they are. I mean, I just talking about, I just referring to the chief or hospitality, but I don't know if that's the name, chief of hospitality. But someone that regulates the industry, you know, and it have been, and apparently this chief of hospitality commented that the government is speaking on hospitality. I don't know exactly what he meant with that, but obviously they feel that they are struggling. Hospitality is struggling, and nobody will deny that. Definitely they are struggling, and maybe they feel it's unjustified. They maybe feel it is unjustified, and obviously, as I say, that's the third time I'm gonna say it, and maybe I say it more times. I don't have the details to decide whether that is justified or not. No, I'm not gonna say yes or not. But that was what I was saying, the argument in the papers, and then I saw other news as well about the the increase of cases, whether the chief of hospitality or we think that maybe sometimes hospitality have been pegged and justified. It's true that the increase of coronavirus, and that's what it says on the papers. That was the one of the news. The increase was clear since students back to school. However, I do understand why. Is you have to stop an activity. Why would you stop before to go to a pub or a restaurant? And I think it's clear why, the reasons why, because study is necessary. When go to a pub or a restaurant, it's no necessary per se, it's part of life, to socialize, but not necessary in a pub or restaurant. So I will understand in that term. So obviously, as I say, you need to be careful to go into an argument, because I don't have the details, all the details, but it have been this kind of different restrictions and different informations, and to choose the right restrictions for to control the coronavirus expansion. And I need more tea. Sorry. However, and now is when my point of view comes into place. Rather than say whether it's students go back to school, which, as I say, cannot be stopped. Again, I would prefer not to ban any activity completely, but maybe in some cases it's necessary. But the student even is a problem. I understand that wherever possible we need to maintain the students in the school, because education is essential, for a growing person. But yeah, definitely, again, it have to be measures wherever possible, and they are children, so you need to be very careful of the measures, and how you implement those measures. But I remember at the beginning, they weren't asked to use masks at all, and now they are asked to wear masks in the corridors, which I think it should be enough. Is they wear masks until they sit in their table, as long when they are sitting on their tables or their chairs in class, there is this social distancing. However, I have to say, the restrictions of social distance were not applied. As far as I know, they were not applying for a student, for studying. So maybe something they will have to